Hi, I'm Tatum Skipper and welcome to Jackson County Today. Jackson County has a lot to offer. Let's take a look.
Welcome back. Still here in Marianna, Florida at the second Marianna Marketplace. It's a balmy Florida day. It's the kind of weather that the Chamber of Commerce wishes for each and every single day. Fortunately, it's nice today, but unfortunately, we don't get that much of this weather. When I first moved to Florida, they told me there were 3 seasons: too hot, too cold, and too nice to work. And this, to me, is one of those too nice to work days, but not for Carl sitting next to me here. Carl is here as one of the vendors for the Marianna Marketplace. We met Carl at the Paint and Pork Festival earlier this month, and we had some weather events that sort of dampens people's spirits for that particular event. Not so much today. Carl, thanks so much for taking the time to speak with us today.
Thank you.
Now, you are a soapstone artist, and I don't use that term loosely. You've got some gorgeous stuff over there, and as you point out, they all start out as just a simple square block of soapstone. Talk a little bit about the process you go through there.
What I do is I'll take and cut a piece of stone, and I'll sit with that piece of stone and figure out what's in there. Then I'll sketch on the side of the stone what it's going to be, and then I'll go with my knife and highlight it, and then I take away all the stone that don't belong. And I've been doing this in soapstone for over 30 years. I've been carving for over 50 years.
So what other medium do you use? Wood?
I carve wood walking sticks, and I do a little bit of carving in bone and every once in a while in deer antler.
Okay.
But I prefer the soapstone to everything else.
So this is three-dimensional, obviously. You're not just doing bas relief or surface carving. You've got some really nice stuff, and we're panning those articles now. What are your favorite subjects to carve?
Frogs and turtles.
Yeah, frogs and turtles.
Turtles represent the earth. Frogs are a good luck charm. They bring the water. They're the water bringers. So.
Well, we have a pond that is typically just a hole in the ground behind our house where we live in Wausau, Florida. And every time we get a big thunderstorm, it fills up with water. And all of a sudden, all of the frogs that we were living in there that were silent up to that point are revived, and you can't hear yourself think back there.
Yeah, and did you know that the only species of frog that can hear the same species? A bullfrog can't hear a toad frog. They speak in a different language and they can't hear each other. So all that noise, they can't hear most of it. They only hear their own species.
So that's for procreation purposes. They're trying to find a mate out there.
Exactly.
Interesting. Do you have some kind of a wildlife or biological background, or is this just folklore you've picked up along the way?
Folklore I picked up along the way because I've been carving for so many years that these tales and stories come to me. But now the thing about the frogs is actually scientific, and it was something I learned on the History Channel when they were talking about the different species of frogs.
Okay. Well, it's a little bit slow out here so far this morning, but the event has just started. But I know that at Paint and Pork, you were surrounded, and the kids particularly love to see what you're doing, and you're a character, obviously, and a very welcoming, warm person, and your art speaks for itself. I would imagine you have a ball doing this.
Oh, I do. This is one of the fun things of life, and this is my hobby. This isn't a profession. I've never been a professional carver. I'm retired Army. I spent 20 years in air defense artillery working on radars and mainframe computers. This is just a way of relieving stress for me, and it's one of the best things in the world to do.
Well, this is
and
about.
I love having the kids around too.
Yeah, this is about as far away as you can get from computers.
Yeah, just about as far away as you can get.
Now, how many of these shows do you do on average in the course of the year?
Oh, I'd say 6 to 12, depending on the year, depending on how well I am, how well I can get around and all. But about 6 to 12.
Well, I'll tell you, Carl, it was really nice to meet you, and we appreciate you taking the time. If they have more of these, will you find yourself coming back, do you think?
Absolutely. Anytime anybody wants me to come carve, just tell me and I'll go carve. I'll teach kids how to carve as much as I can. It's all about teaching other people. If one person can pick this up from me, then I've been successful.
Well, it's a low-tech art. It's a hands-on art, and unfortunately, we've gotten away from so much of that.
Yes, we have, and that's a loss for humanity when you get away from your art, because that's what makes us different from the animals. Primarily, is our art. You'll never find an elephant doing artwork. You'll never find an ape doing artwork. We're doing artwork. That's our main difference. So if we don't highlight that and live with that, we might as well revert back to animals.
Well, so often the kids spend most of their waking hours in front of the video games and that sort of thing. If it doesn't take batteries, they don't want to play with it.
And they're losing touch with reality. They're becoming immune to the things that really matter. How to use a knife, how to start a fire. How many kids can start a fire now without a book of matches or a cigarette lighter? Okay? If you know how, you can start a fire with a magnifying glass.
And survive.
But our kids haven't learned these things, so we need to teach our kids these things.
Well, again, thank you for taking the time today. Hopefully the rest of the day is going to be this balmy and nice, and hopefully sales will be brisk. But I got a feeling that you have fun even if you don't make any money.
Fun is every day. Money is just something we have to live with. Okay?
Understood.
It's a necessity of, it's one of those cruel necessities of life. It's not something we just have to have. It's not something I'm going to work for anymore.
Here with Carl out at the second Marianna Marketplace, right here in the middle of Marianna, Florida, right off of Highway 90, and there's a whole bunch of people missing a great time today. You're not going to see this today, but mark your calendars, and when you see notice of the next Marianna Marketplace or the farmers markets, which are here every week in the summertime during produce season, make sure you check out Madison Street Park, Marianna, Florida, and the rest of Jackson County. We enjoy living in what we call the real Florida, and you will too. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
Thank you.